There we go. Okay. Oh no, I'm still there. You're good. Kate, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sorry. No, I'm not. Okay, so I am a variety streamer here on Twitch. I've been streaming for about probably coming up on 3 years now. And it definitely started as a hobby, and it grew into a passion. And through streaming, I've met so many incredible people like KonkyTalks, 64, obviously. Most of the people who are here currently are actual like friends of mine, and it would have never happened if I would have never started. And then growing up, I was always really shy, but there's always been this inner performer, like always, and I hid it. But I remember very specifically because I was sheltered. I was a sheltered kid. I wasn't allowed to really go out and party. You know what I mean? So we
found ways to party.
Oh, I partied with an 64 in a boombox. I didn't mean that in a sexual way, you nasty.
Just because I winked doesn't mean it's sexy.
No, I thought it did. But so we would get games every Friday from Blockbuster. I'm dating myself.
Fuck yeah.
But fuck yeah, Blockbuster.
Dude, Blockbuster was the shit, bro.
I fucking loved, like, I like had the fucking card.
Can we talk about Blockbuster for a moment?
Fuck yeah,
okay.
we'll talk about Blockbuster.
Okay, so Blockbuster, for those of you guys who don't know, all you youngin' people in the chat, or maybe you're not around, Blockbuster was a place where you would go rent movies and video games, especially if you couldn't afford to buy them because they were super expensive. And I don't know about you, but anytime like we went to rent video games or whatever it was always like a special fucking occasion. Like it was like every blue moon, and you have 3 days to beat the game, otherwise you're boned.
See, our experience was a little different there because of the level of how much I was sheltered. Playing games on the weekends and riding my horse when I got older were like the only 2 things I could do for a long time. So I was kind of bribed, and every Friday my parents would take me to Blockbuster after school so I could rent a game to play for the weekend. So
okay.
So I wouldn't complain about not being able to hang out with my cool friends because I didn't have any.
Okay.
But I would sit at home and play, and I would like start talking to myself as I was playing, and I was literally doing like commentary for channels on Twitch and YouTube, like trying to be funny, and I would make myself laugh before that was even a thing.
Gotcha. Okay. This was like kind of like this is all pre-Twitch days. You're sort of like doing commentary and trying to act a fool, like while playing games, while watching people play games, whether it was like on the couch or online.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so then when it started to become a thing, I wanted to see if I could do it, and now it's one of the coolest experiences I've ever had, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity that I've been given to try and do this in any way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you surrounded yourself with some really cool people.
Oh my God.
Think so.
There's so many talented people on, like every day I find more channels that are so talented, and it's not all just playing games. Dead Flip, you showed me Dead Flip, and I was like, this dude is playing pinball, and the production value, like the camera angles he was doing, it's so cool and artsy.
Yeah, Dead Flip's really fucking cool. He's a good dude.
It's just, I'm so proud to be on this platform and surrounded by people like yourselves.
Yeah, yourselves. Sound like a mob boss right there for a second. Yourselves. You're doing yourself a bad favor if you're not following everybody that has a name in here.
Everybody that has a name, every single one. If they don't have a name, don't follow them.
Don't follow them. Okay, cool. Well, that's awesome. I know, like, when we were talking a little bit, you were really nervous about coming on the show. How do you feel now?
I'm still nervous.
A little nervous? Okay.
Yeah, because, like, down just a little bit. Like, it's still a light here and a camera and then a couple screens. So I'm still very much aware of what's going on.
Does the anxiety come from like not being in control, you think?
That's a big part of it.
Okay.
Because I'm so accustomed to like being able to press all the buttons.
Yeah.
But then the other part of it is what we're going to talk about today.
Yes. Yeah. And we talked a little bit about this prior, and this is something that like you have in your info panels, but maybe not a lot of people get to see. And it actually does happen. I've like been in the chat a few times where somebody had said something to you and I was like, oh, like, did you even read like what's going on? Like, and it's not even their fault, obviously. It's just them not knowing. So you've done a really good job of just embracing that and being like, you know, well, let me explain to you what it's from and why this is the case. And I'll leave the ambiguity out of this. I'll let you talk about it because it makes more sense for you to do it. Please go ahead and share exactly like what we're talking about. Speech impediments is what we're talking about. I feel like I'm not trying to give it away, but that's what we're going to talk about. Like, we're going to talk about like growing up with a speech impediment and a few other things. So please share some stuff with us.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, pulling back the curtain for Oz. That was the longest intro. I adored it. It's speech impediments. That's it. That's the thing.
That's it. That's what we're talking about. I don't know why I was like trying to beat around the bush around it.
Beat around the bush? My favorite.
Am I nervous?
No, it's probably me. I do that. I have a habit of doing that. So we're talking about speech impediments, but specifically my EXP, my experience is with stuttering. I've had a stutter for as long as I can remember. Little kid, I don't think there was ever a time where I did not have it. It was definitely, I came into the world gassy and stuttering. Those were my two big, well, actually I came out and then I shit. That was the first thing I did when I came out.
I just came out and shit, and then I couldn't.
That's actually true.
That's something that like your parents tell you when you're older and you're like, why?
Oh man, I made birth so hard for I love you, Mom. I love you, Dad. I'm so sorry that I came out and shit. but ever since then, yeah, so I have always had it, and my parents were wonderful about it. I went to speech pathology therapy for years and years and years. And it's so incredibly helpful. And looking back, one of the points that I wanted to kind of hit on was, as a kid or a teenager, more specifically a teenager, as a kid, going to therapy was kind of awesome. Like, ooh, I get to not be in class.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Wasn't it like kind of a taboo thing too, or no?
Well, that's when it in high school it became more that.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense because that's how high school was. Yeah.
Yeah. Growing up in grade school, I was still like bullied, but going to therapy, and a lot of it happened outside of school, and I just remember it feeling sort of special. But then as I aged, and I regret this so much, I gave my mom so much shit about going, and I started to complain because it's not the cool thing. Certainly not the cool thing. And then when I started to have to go during high school, then I just stopped going during school. Like,
because of bullying?
Because the bullying was so bad. So like I would be in class and they would come in and they would give me a piece of paper that would be like, this is her excuse to be able to get up and leave class. So in high school, I stopped going, and then begrudgingly, I started going back in college because I had fucked up, and like that's when your brain is still developing.
Yeah.
Like,
So oh, sorry.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm just really the point is that I made a bad call in being too cool for school in high school and not going when I should have, but especially when I was older in college, I gave my family so much shit and they were just trying to help me.
Right.
And looking back, I didn't put my 100% effort into therapy because I hadn't accepted that I have a stutter.
Well, you also, I mean, like, this is a common thing. Like, believe it or not, it's a lot of people who have like gone to therapy and have stopped, or if they were like getting help, any sort of, and this can occur outside of the whole high school thing as well. Like, if your family had been the opposite, instead of being supportive, they were like, well, she doesn't need therapy because that's what weak people need. Right? And some people have like a family environment that's like that, where they feel like they can't be vulnerable. And if you're in an environment where anybody, it's either family or your peers, because that's your world at that point. Like, you don't really understand what's outside of that building. In the context of what you were going through, you just simply were like, well, this makes me different, and people don't like me when I'm different. And that feeling is a really hurtful feeling. It sucks.
Yeah, in high school and middle school was a little bit better, but I want to say 5th grade, like starting 5th grade and then like all of high school, people are they just don't care, but they're kids, and it's still happening, which makes me so sad. I feel like it might be getting better.
It is. I think it is getting better. A lot of it has to do with this whole like movement that we're seeing with just understanding yourself more. I don't know how else to explain that other than that. Like, understanding yourself more is probably one of the most cool things that I've seen happen in this like generation of shit happening. It's just this wanting to understand why you feel the way you feel and where these emotions come from, and like the ambiguity that's behind that is no longer, well, like, I'll just keep it down there.
I was just gonna say, like, that's the cool thing seems to be more introspective, where when I was a kid, that was not cool. It was cool to be like, fuck it, nobody understands me.
Yeah, it's cool to wear almost no coat when it's like -15 out in Chicago.
Oh my god, well, that was still happening in college because girls. That's just how
You're not wrong, yeah.
no tea, no shade. I was stupid too and went to the club. I'm going in the club.
You weren't stupid, Kate. You were just inexperienced.
That's very true. I didn't have enough EXP. Yeah.
Oh, you guys like that. Shut your fucking mouths.
I needed that.
Whoa. Don't yell at me, bro. I wasn't even paying attention.
Man. Yeah, but no, I definitely agree. I think that we're in an environment now where people are a little bit more accepting. The only thing that worries me, and it's just because of how archaic is the word I want to use when I think about the school system and how it's set up, because it's not conducive to learning in the modern era. This was like, the school system hasn't changed since pretty much when they were like, okay, well, we need to make kids factory workers, and what you're going to do at your factory workers portion at your job is you're going to be here from 8 to 5 or whatever, 8 to 4, and you have to sit in this desk and just do the same shit every day. Okay?
Yeah.
And don't get bored, because this is important for your like future. And
no kid is thinking about that.
No, not anymore. And we don't have classes explaining like emotions, sexual education, like anything that has to do with being a human. All of that's like on the internet, and then instead what ends up happening is people like, oh, you're 12, here, have this phone and tell the world. Tell the world what it's like to be 12.
If I had a Twitter when I was 12,
oh my god,
that's cringe city. I
don't even know if you would have, but
no,
maybe.
of course I wouldn't have. I'm just, why?
In this day and age, like, man, TikTok, bro, come on, TikTok.
I mean,
TikTok, bro.
Sometimes I kind of like TikTok though, bro.
I agree, you know, but really the reason why I like TikTok at all is because it reminds me of Vine, and I
fucking loved Vine.
Vine, we miss you.
I miss you, Vine. Come back. Why'd you leave us?
Oh, dude, MySpace. Yeah, that's pretty.
MySpace top 8. Fucking.
Man, that's a fucking nostalgia trip. What was your MySpace? MySpace? MySpace name? What was your MySpace name, Kate? Uh-oh. She's frozen. Oh no, look at this. Oh god. I really wish I had the Eric Andre will be right back thing. Hold on 1 second, boys. I'll fix this in a jiff. Thanks for hanging out. This stream is brought to you by Onnit. Onnit, the human optimization website. ONNIT. You guys want to help support the channel and better yourselves. They've got some badass new Street Fighter t-shirts available, as well as supplements, workout equipment, stuff that will make you stronger, better, faster. If you guys have any questions about those products, everything is there. They use all natural supplements. All that shit is great. And then you guys want to check out Katebit again, exclamation standard workout company. The reason why I chose on it was because I've been using them for a while. I have their kettlebells. I have everything. All of their shit is legit. What I mean by that is I take all of their stuff and I stand behind everything that they have. Everything is such a high quality, it's fucking unreal. If you don't want to buy anything, you can also look at all the free articles there for diet, and resources are invaluable. There you are. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes,
No worries. It just it was like a commercial break.
oh my god.
So I was like, oh yeah, check out our affiliated links. Don't worry about it. Seriously, it's not a big deal.
Okay.
Easy cheese. Thank you so much. You guys, thank you guys so much for all the hosts, raids, gifted subs. Let me just read them off really quick. Easy cheese, Miami Bros, Slaff, Sheath, Slaff's Heath.
Megan. That's his girlfriend.
Oh, gotcha.
Slaff Sheath.
Oh. That's a vagina joke.
Yep.
All right. I like that.
I love her so
Codename
much.
Lucas, Josh, Shadow Psycho King, Curry, Misty, Katebit, Yamasaki. Thank you guys.
Thank you, everybody.
No worries about this. We're still here. Hanging out.
I'm back.
Um,
Thank you. You gifted a sub to my man. Thank you, Joe Bash.
oh,
He's so fucking sweet.
he is. You deserve so much more, Josh, than I could ever give you. I want you to know that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
God damn. Thank you for giving me your Amazon link, though, so maybe you'll just get, like, random treats every once in a while.
I saw that. I saw that tweet.
Oh, I was so excited. I was, like, so excited to get him stuff, man. Okay, so we were talking about before the...
Let's bring him back, yeah.
Yeah. So before, we were talking about how you have started to take speech... What was it called?
Speech pathology therapy.
Speech pathology therapy. And during high school and college, you were starting to like push away, or stop doing therapy, and also push away your parents because they were like, "Hey, you should go to speech therapy," and you're like, "I'm in college. I'm in high school." Like, yeah.
Exactly, and I regret it. So if there's any parents who have kids that are doing the same kind of shit, doing the same kind of things, or if there's anybody out there who is like a teenager or in college, like, please keep going to therapy.
Yeah.
Don't give up on it, because there's so much more shit that I could have learned. Like, don't give up on it.
Yeah, and it's never too late too. So if you're seeing this right now and Kate's like, you know, saying this and you're like, fuck, I should really go to therapy. Like, it's never too late. It's never too late to go and get help. It's just
true.
It just takes a long time. Like, I can tell you that in terms of me, I'm still learning shit about myself. Like, it takes a long fucking time. It really does.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about like what the process was for you. So when did you start going back? Was it still in college? Were you reluctantly going in college?
Yeah.
Okay.
I started going back in college because, like, class presentations are a big thing, and meeting all these people, and my speech was just deteriorating.
Yeah.
So I thought it was time to go. It was time to go back, but I gave my family shit. Like, they were trying to help me, and I asked for help, and I was still like, I guess I need to go, but I'm gonna complain every time I have to go. But it was helpful, especially since when I went back in college, the therapists were all in graduate school.
Okay.
So they weren't that much older than I was, and they were studying speech pathology. So, like, not only were they like cooler and more approachable, they knew what the fuck was going on.
Oh, probably because they had like fresh knowledge.
Yep.
So they were on it. They were like ready to talk about whatever because they had experience or had just learned about it or something.
Yep. And they would have specific tips for college activities. Like, if I had a presentation, we would go over it like three separate sessions. Like, I would practice the fuck out of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a lot of that. I don't know. That's something that like you won't see a whole lot of college kids doing.
Right?
A lot of it's just like, I'm going to do it tomorrow when I have to do it.
That's basically what it was at the time.
Yeah.
They were on it. Jordan.
God. You guys are taking my words. Stop it. Okay, so I feel like the hard part about all of this stuff was, do you still like kind of regret it, I guess?
Yeah,
like,
totally.
Entirely? Is that something that like you're working through too?
Yeah, I was actually just thinking about it earlier. Because there's certain bad habits that come back when you're not actively going to therapy. It's just like it's like a muscle.
Yeah. You gotta keep working on it, otherwise it starts to.
Yeah, and I went for such a long time, so a lot of the stuff I was taught I do have, but now it's kind of hidden under some shit.
Yeah.
So I remember the big things that helped, i.e., for me personally, one big thing is speaking slower. One big thing is making a word that's going to be a little bit harder. I ease into it.
Okay.
So like if I was going to say my name is Katie, which by the way, for a lot of people that stutter, saying your name is like the hardest thing to say. And it continues with my Twitch channel. Like, I want to be telling fucking everybody, like, I'm fucking Katebit, but there's so many times where people ask me my channel, and I'm like, here's my card.
Yeah.
Like, bless cards. Like,
bless cards.
I lost my train of thought because the name thing, but that's really true. That's like a sick joke.
Yeah. That's interesting. See, I didn't know that. Like, so I guess this is my inexperience with it. So when it comes down to like the whole stutter and how it happens, because you said you were looking into a lot of this stuff today. Do you want to talk a little bit about like what causes a stutter, and then I guess like your experience with discovering like you had it, like do you remember any of that?
Yeah.
Because that part, like origin stories, we're always fascinated with, of course, but like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? It's always interesting to hear about it because this is something that's extremely close to you. So naturally, like you want to know more about it, so you would look it up, right?
Well, so one of the cool things that happened, and I want to really, like, I'm so grateful for this opportunity because I think a lot of like the hatred and disdain I held for my own stutter, like I couldn't even say the word stutter for years. I was just so it like hurt. And I'm coming through in a new phase of accepting it.
That's awesome.
But I was never brave enough to just look it up and learn about why this is happening.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right? Because I just want to pretend. I just want to pretend it's not there.
Yeah. I mean, like, was that something that you were, sorry, I was like scatterbrained for a second. I didn't know which direction I wanted to go.
It's okay.
So what I'm curious about, I guess, is that behavior of not liking it and distancing yourself from it. Did that happen because when you started school, or was that like middle school, high school where you started to do that?
Oh,
do you remember? And if you don't, if it's like too,
I can't think of a time. I mean, I guess grade school, but ever since I was a kid, it was really obvious. Like something is different about you. The way you speak is weird, and we don't like it.
Gotcha.
So that was pushed into my brain really early on. My family, awesome, but everybody around me in school and stuff, it's just not so great.
And that probably, I mean, I would assume, I would assume that because of that, you were just starting to get conditioned into not liking it, which also probably makes your stutter worse.
That was a big thing that I found during my research is that, and I've also experienced it, the whole thing about stuttering and then being nervous that you're gonna stutter is a fucking circle. It's really, and once it starts to spin really fast, it's hard to pull it back because you're constantly like, I really don't want to stutter. So that thought is like, oh, it's always there. And then you have a sentence, and some sentences are easier, some are hard. Yeah. So then you mentally prep for like, what am I going to do when I get to this word or whatever. So then you get anxious because of that. And then
being nervous definitely exacerbates it.
It totally does.
Okay, interesting.
It's not the cause. It's something that's already happening in the person's brain. But then it gets anxious because of the stutter, and then it keeps going.
So it's almost like a reset loop, right? Like if you are like I don't know why I think of this analogy, but imagine you're driving a car and the start of the word is like a bump, letting you know that the word is going to start, right?
Yeah.
And so what I'm imagining is the car is going through, it hits the bump, you're about to start the word, and then something distracts you or makes you nervous, and then you're like, okay, that word's gone now, and then your brain has to start the loop again.
Yeah, kind of.
Does that make sense, or is that a weird analogy?
No, I mean, so what you're describing is another way to describe stuttering is, all the words are hard to say, which is so fucking funny. DIS, fluency. So you're supposed to be fluent, but you're disfluent. So another term for stuttering is disfluency.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's what they would talk about a lot in therapy too. Because what it is it's an interruption, kind of like the bump.
Gotcha, okay.
It's an interruption in speaking, and brains just aren't accustomed to hearing that.
Yeah.
or having to say it. And a really common thing that is like super stressful is the problem is not, it has nothing to do with like intelligence or anything like that. It's the person's brain.
Right.
And we know what we want to say. We know exactly what we want to say, and we know how we want to say it, but we get blocked. That's the kind of stutter that I tend to have, is called a block. You can see it there. Is if I'm trying to say a sound and it won't come out. So like B sounds, D sounds, like hard sound. Another one that's really popular.
another stutter that's super popular. I like this. No, go ahead.
There's like 3 like separate kinds of stutters. The blocks are the ones that I most commonly deal with.
Right.
The one that more people hear is the repetition of a sound, i.e. somebody like Porky the Pig, which, cool fun fact I found out today, the actor that played the original Porky the Pig stuttered. Like, he really did. But the studio was getting pissed at him because he would miss his cues because he stuttered. So they fired him and replaced him with a non-stuttering actor to play a stuttering character.
That's mean.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
That's mean, bro.
People are mean.
People are mean. Damn.
But so there's repeating sounds, the block. Oh shit. What's the third one? Oh, extending a sound for too long.
Oh, like say. Oh, okay. Wait.
Yeah.
Well, so an example would be like ahs and buzz and whatever weird other.
Yeah. It's like the opposite of a block. And it's crazy when you start none of these things, they don't feel good.
Oh, sure. Well, tell me about it. What do you mean they don't feel good? Is it like hurt?
Yeah.
Like,
see, that's one of the most common questions, and I love hearing it because it makes sense. Does it hurt? The act of stuttering, like, it doesn't hurt here, but it causes so much tension.
Oh, like you lock up, like physically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It causes so much tension, and then when you block, if you're really stuck in it, you're like really putting, like you're really pushing to get it out. That's not good. They would tell me if I was to do what I was taught, you should kind of like step back and ease into that sound, maybe stretch it out.
Yeah.
So, but things like that don't feel good. It's very taxing, emotionally and physically. It's very tiring to not be able to just speak all the time.
Right.
Like a regular person.
Well, well, if you were speaking all the time, that's what's like making you tired, right? Because you're like physically exerting yourself to say some few words.
Yeah. It's
I never really thought about that. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Every single time that I speak, it's a thing. Like I'm thinking about my speech in some kind of capacity. Even if it's in like the back of my head and I'm like really calm and I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still like, I really don't want to stutter right now.
Dang.
Yeah.
I had no idea. That's nuts. There was actually, looks like there's a few people who have stutters in the chat.
Oh,
Do
yeah?
you know them?
Who?
That old man Mike. Looks like he's
No.
familiar with it. And then TNA Gamer. I'm sorry you had to go through this, but he said, I started as a kid and my dad said if I couldn't talk, I shouldn't. I need therapy.
I'm so sorry.
There's still, it's not too late, man. Like,
Yeah.
we were just talking about that.
Hi.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, no, it's not.
You got over it mostly. talking slow and thinking more ahead of time what you want to say. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes. Yes. TNA Gamer, I see that.
Formerly Frightened. Oh, hey, Frightened, dude. Sorry, I know him. The name I didn't recognize, but I know him.
Okay, well, hi.
Hi, guys. Thank you guys for being here and sharing your own personal experience with that. That's nuts. But Kate, like, you literally we just talked about those, both of that. It's like therapy is not a bad thing and it's never too late.
Oh, no, it's never a bad thing. It's never too late. It's like exclusively helpful.
You're right. I'm sorry, that was really funny. It's exclusively helpful. That's like great.
If you are capable at all to seek any kind of help, whether it be on the internet, on the phone, going to an office, just do it. It feels so much better too.
Dude, agreed. I can say that confidently. Going to therapy is one of the best decisions I ever made. And then like reading about the books that people had recommended me from therapists, like there's nothing wrong with it. Admitting like what you need help with is one of the hardest things that a lot of people struggle with, and it's really really strong of you to admit that you do need the help.
It's really strong. It's the opposite of what people tend to paint it. Like having no problems is not cool. And it's not like, I feel like when we were kids, it was cool to be like, I don't care about anything and I'm the cool kid and I don't got no problems. But like now we're in a time where like people like honesty. People don't like bullshit. People are so done with the bullshit.
Dude, we're so done with the bullshit
of other people. So yeah,
it's weird because like the social media aspect of all of this stuff, and I was talking with another dead hero on Monday last week about this, but it's just so young. Like it's only been around for 12 years, this whole social media thing, and it's so crazy that like we have this weird culture of like everything's perfect, nothing's bad, like, and here's a phone and I'm gonna tell, like, but at no point, and I can't recall this until my adult life when I was like 24 was when I was really starting to deep dive into like what was making me, and I still like am trying to grapple with it. I didn't get diagnosed with ADHD until, was I like 26 or 20? Yeah, 26.
Wow.
Because when I was growing up, like my parents were like, ADHD isn't a thing, you don't need medication, blah blah blah. But then like the whole time it's just like, you're smart, Steve, you don't focus. And I'm like, it's because it's not interesting.
I can totally focus, just not on what you're asking me to.
Exactly. And it took a long time, but what I was trying to loop back on is like with this whole internet age and the authenticity portion of it, like the discovery of yourself and the confidence that you show in yourself, I think really reflects on how well you know yourself as well. As well, me too. I say as well as much as I can because I said it like fucking 12 times.
What?
I said as well, like as well, me too, as well.
You sound like what did she say? The girl at the pageant? And such as world peace.
Such as. Yes. That was me. As well, myself also too.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Such as.
God damn it. I got like so distracted by that also, I like lost my train of thought.
We were talking
authenticity.
We were talking about the authenticity about stuttering, and I don't know if you had a follow-up question. And we haven't talked about streaming and stuttering yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I had my thought. Okay, this was like,
okay.
I guess it's kind of like a segue. But it's just the more you're in tune with yourself, and the more you act, represent yourself in whatever way, shape, or form, be it real life, online, Twitch streaming, you can kind of sense that there's not really like a, I don't know how to explain it. It's the confidence in knowing yourself that gets brought into everything that you're doing, and those people you can see from like a mile away. They're like Ashney or Katebit or
Oh yeah.
you know, like I'm just saying. There's a lot of people that like are discovering this whole authentic way of seeing people online. And when we say authentic, it's obviously like a personal thing, right? But
Right.
oh, explain to, I guess, everyone how you decided you were going to handle streaming, because that's obviously like a big undertaking, from being really ashamed of the stutter and going to therapy and doing all this stuff, and now you're showcasing this stuff, you know what I mean, online.
Yeah.
And like how did it feel like when you started? Like, what was the motivation behind it? Was spreading awareness about stuttering like that part of it, or
Not in the beginning. In the beginning, I tried to hide it again. I don't know it. It didn't take me a long time to put it in my about section. I don't think it seemed really important. I think the first few weeks I was streaming, I don't know, because I wanted so hard. I wanted it to work. I wanted streaming to be entertaining. And I had been inspired by so many people. So, and they didn't stutter. And so I tried to hide it. And eventually, like, it's just, I figured out really quickly that hiding shit on the internet is not super productive. people are gonna see what's going on.
Yeah. It's not like a secret for long, is what it is. Especially if you have like I would say it's probably pretty hard to not stutter while you're streaming.
And while I'm playing a game, and if I'm getting like annoyed or whatever. Right. So then I put it in my about section, and I remember you got to steer into it. Exactly. So that's kind of that's the vibes I've been feeling recently. It started with putting it in my about section. And then when comments happened in chat, or if I just had a really bad stutter, I mean, shit, I try to laugh at it, because it's the best thing that you can do.
It is, yeah.
Because it's happening. Mm-hmm. It's going to happen occasionally. Yeah. And I'm not going to hide it anymore. I'm going to continue to try and improve it.
Right.
But I'm not going to pretend like it's something I'm ashamed of any longer. Yeah. It's still scary, but I'm not ashamed.
That's good.
So
that takes a long time. It takes a long time to get to that point for a lot of people, and it's never too late for you to do it, obviously, but it does. That's a really big like achievement in like Katebit life.
It really is. And I touched on it earlier. A big part of steering into it. I like that, Mike. Steering into it. Because of this opportunity, I told you I did research, and like the click that I've never really sat down and done that. I've never really sat down and thought about like, why does this happen? What is going on with my brain? What I wanted to know more information instead of battling it all the time.
Yeah, because not knowing is part of the like concoction as to why you don't like something.
Yes. So I got really into that. And then as I was doing that and thinking about I've been very excited for what's happening. And I think maybe bringing awareness to, like, this was a big reason why I'm here, was to bring awareness to this particular show. And it feels good.
Is that a question? It feels good?
No. It just feels good. Like, it's scary. I think I'm saying it like that because it is really scary.
Yeah, well, this is the first time you've been open and honest about it, right? Like, up front. Like
we don't.
This is a topic, you know?
Yeah. I've never discussed it in this kind of, this openly. So I might start to lean into that a bit in my channel a bit more. I'm not exactly sure how I would do that, but I'm thinking about it, and this experience is like really hitting home that maybe that's a thing that I should be doing in some respect.
Yeah, no, I thought like for me it was talking about ADHD was like it's like a minor note. Really, it's just about sharing like the life experience portion for me, but for you, like that's something like I feel like it comes up often enough where you can just take a moment and if you want to go into it, because it's something that like it's part of your identity, but it's not like you're a victim or anything, right? It's
No.
it's just this is a part of your personality and it's here. Like, what am I supposed to do about it? You just gotta let people know.
And I'm here and I'm on the internet, and if you don't like it, you can go somewhere else.
Right.
But you're gonna miss out on some funny shit, dog.
Some funny shit, dog. I agree. They can go home. I agree.
They can go home.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I think that's pretty much all I had in terms of questions that I can remember. Was there anything that you wanted that I may have missed?
When we were talking about when I started streaming, another reason that I started was because of the fear of stuttering and that I couldn't do it. Like, but I wanted to prove to myself that I could, because fuck that.
Right.
And if we want to get super honest, when I started streaming, I was in a really, really, really dark place. I had just come out of a very unhealthy relationship.
Yeah.
And I was really depressed, and I had like no self-esteem. Like it was just gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I had never felt that. So
really,
I thought
a big low point.
A big low point. So with all of that happening, I figured there's no better time to start. And my family has been so like wonderful and supportive. Like, they didn't fully understand it at first, but they're seeing what it's doing to my character.
Yeah.
And it's just, it feels so good to have that kind of support. I just feel like I'm doing the right thing, and I started with honest intentions, and being able to prove that I could do it as a person that stutters was a big part of it.
Yeah. No, that's a huge part of it. I mean, the whole streaming aspect is really unique in the sense that you're showcasing yourself, being yourself to a certain degree with like other people watching, but after a certain point, the camera and like the people, they start to become actual people instead of this weird thing you're operating in front of.
Yeah.
And so the screen separation, like names and everything, like seeing people you associate, and you think about like how we talked about this a little bit. It's like, yeah, I just started a party. All right, everybody got a notification on their phone, and they were like, "Fucking Konky and Katebit are having a party, bro," and they're like, "We're gonna go now."
And they all came to our party. That's such a good way to look at it. And I've taken that and I've stolen that and I've run with it. Every single time I start stream, like I'm obviously a little bit scared, but then I'm like, no, it's just a big party. Everybody's gonna come. Yeah. Oh shit!
What I'm doing right now when I hit start stream, I'm just saying, everybody come on over my house. We're having a fun time.
Yes.
Because everybody gets that notification on the phone. You know what I mean? And like, I like making it. You know, sometimes it's like a notification, like today, but like if it's by myself, like just me doing it, I'll be like, "Hey, what are you doing? You want to come hang out?" You know what I mean? Like,
I'm feeling cute.
Yeah, I'm feeling cute. It's like, it's just it's this weird interaction entirely, and the ability to so it goes one of two ways. There's like a character that starts to develop, and then there's some streamers who are just characters. And when I say character, I'm talking about like the spectrum. I'm talking about the person who just plays games and sits there and is like trying to, or it's their first time streaming. They don't know how to act. They can't really relax because this is all alien. They're just doing it in front of a computer for the first time. And then there's
Yeah.
the people who are like, well, I have to be like this online. And thank you for that follow. You know, like there's just this weird sort of adopted way of trying to do it. And really what it comes down to is everybody's just trying to figure this shit out. And it's weird. And some of us do and some of us don't. And it takes a long time to get where you want it.
Yeah. We're all trying to figure it out, man. There really isn't like an easy button.
No.
You just gotta figure it out, and then it's not for everybody.
That too. Yeah, like definitely seek advice, but if you feel like this is like negatively affecting, this whole thing is negatively affecting how you operate as a person, then maybe you should think about if you should be doing it or not. Because you can't be fucking up the real life aspect. You got to keep this work-life balance stuff, which is hard. Very hard. I'm one of the kings of burning the candle at both ends, man.
True.
Oh, I feel like anybody who says they have it together is like 65% lying to me. I feel the same, but 4% more.
And I saw that there were some questions.
Oh, we had questions? Okay, I missed it. I'm sorry.
There was one from Misty and one from One Hand FPS. Misty said, do you ever feel like streaming is a wake-up alarm for you, or do you feel like you just stream whenever you feel like it? I have a weekly stream schedule. I'm not sure if I understood that question correctly.
It looks like, are you streaming, like, do you ever feel like streaming is a wake-up alarm for you, or do you feel like when you just stream whenever you feel like it? So, like, if you're asking her if she makes it, like, a scheduled thing, she has a schedule. As do I. I think it's good to have a schedule of, like, when you like to stream. Just doing it willy-nilly doesn't really give the sense that you care about it. Does that make sense? Like, done on a whim, you know?
Yeah, and I'm the worst because I had so much anxiety. Avon, my boyfriend, he, like, always gently pushed, like, you really, like, you haven't made a schedule yet, and you really should. I was always like, I know, but I was scared because then if I do it, then everybody sees it. And I was scared of it because I'm scared of everything at first. And now I did it and I feel so much better. And
That's
then
good. One Hand FPS said,
I may have missed this, but just curious if your stutter ever comes out when you get anxiety or you get anxiety. If that's the case, what ways do you combat that in those types? Okay, so it totally does. It can happen at any time. I could be totally calm and it'll still happen. But when I'm anxious, the chances of a stutter happening are raised exponentially the more anxious I get. So when that does happen, to combat it, what I try to do is stop for a second and take in 3 deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, and I do that 3 times. And then I try to speak just a little bit slower. Sometimes I fuck it up and I don't do the correct thing and I do the opposite where I get anxious, so I just talk really fast, or I do,
which is normal. I mean,
yeah, it's kind of like the response of fight or flight when a stutter's coming and I'm really anxious.
Yeah, and you're just trying to like barrel through it.
Yeah, like, can I handle it, or am I gonna be like, no, I don't wanna.
Christina, what's your question?
She did it. I did do it.
But yeah, we've been encountering, so like Twitch has been filled with a lot of people who consider themselves a person sharing information. Like I call them oh my god, I totally blanked on the word.
It's okay.
Profound Twitch streamers is the quote. Profound as in
right.
I'm gonna tweet about, like, make sure you read your chat.
I saw that one today.
I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna post this here.
Because everybody needs to know.
Like, everybody needs to know, you should read your chat.
Make sure you do that.
Make sure you read your chat, boys. Especially if you want to interact with people. Make sure you read your chat. God damn it. But it's just, it's these people, there's these people that just like, they've been doing it for a while, so they're like, oh, well, I should do this because honestly, what do you think this is? I want to talk. I want to get your personal opinion on that. What do you think that is?
Should I answer the question first, or?
Oh yeah, answer the question.
There was one from your sister.
Christina.
She said, "Why you're such a beautiful woman? Can I marry you? Don't tell my boyfriend, but it okay because you're an angel and I'm so proud of all you've accomplished." Ask Avon. He said, "Answer the question." I mean, I'm already promised to like Obi, couple of mostly Avon.
Yeah, mostly Avon. Dark Vengeance, you can be mean. That's fine, dude. You probably had like a real shit day. You don't need to ban him or anything. Don't worry about it. Dude, I'm sorry you had like a really bad day. It's like the first thing you say to somebody when you come into the house. Come on, man. You want to talk about it? You can. That's fine.
Yeah, it's cool. We don't care. But you said that you wanted my input on.
What do you think this whole like profound Twitch streamer thing that's happening? The like giving of generic horoscopic advice that doesn't really show any credit or merit to anything. It's just like it could apply to anybody. It's almost like no-brainers.
Yeah. It's frustrating for myself, and it's still, my opinion is still evolving, because when I first started streaming, that was what I saw. That was everywhere. So I just thought that was what I should expect. Plus, I didn't have a Twitter before I started streaming.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so you were just kind of like thrown into the Twitter sea, and you were like, everybody's like this.
Yeah. for a long time, because that's what happened. And then it
was normal.
Yeah, and then as my streaming has evolved and I've evolved and met more people, you start to wade through some of the bullshit.
Yeah.
But agreed. But I don't feel like I don't know if I'll ever feel like I'm at the point, or I don't know if I'll ever feel like I would be at the point to call out bullshit, because I feel like I'm still learning all the time. I feel like I'm fucking up all the time. So I'm not gonna ever make a post like that, but I'm scared to call somebody out, because what the fuck do I know? I'm just over here burping and stuttering on the internet.
That's mean of you to say to yourself. You have so much more value than that, but yeah. No, I get where you're coming from. Like, I haven't been doing this for a long time too. I've just been like, I don't like, the thing that bothers me the most about it is okay, so let's pretend we're at a party, all right? And I ask the crowd, I'm like, hey, have you guys ever heard of ghost organs? And you've got that one dude at the party would be like, yeah, actually, I think I read about that recently. Can you remind me what it is again?
I was that guy because I wanted to be involved, because I didn't have friends. So I just wanted. So maybe
that's a bad example. I don't want to call anybody out like that.
But I feel like there's people that probably should have grown past that.
Agreed. I totally agree about streamers and really anybody of influence using their platform to make generalizations about their fame / how they conduct themselves online. To me, this begs the question, at what point is it calling out disingenuous behavior versus bullying? Not saying that you're being a bully at all, FYI, just wondering where the line is, I guess. See, it's a delicate line, and I found that the line can be walked upon as long as memes are involved.
True.
It's a very close thing, and like, if anybody, and I invite anybody to have like a discussion or talk with me about it, but yeah, like the line is like memes, if they're involved, it's like, okay, well, regardless of what the context is, I saw this meme, why is this meme a meme? Oh, because this guy said this. And then like, I swear I am gonna hold up to this. If I see any generic horoscopic advice online, I'm gonna be blocked by a lot of people, but that
keep doing it. If you're not following,
it's just, you gotta know.
if you're not following Konky on Twitter, follow him and watch what he's doing. He's doing something very smart, and I hope it catches on.
I don't know. I don't like inauthenticness when it comes down to using, like James said, using the platform to preach information or share information that doesn't benefit anybody except yourself. And when the way I think about this is because all of the things we're seeing now on Twitter, and especially in the streaming community, is like watered down versions of the things that you saw from people who like first made those claims. You know what I mean? Like they'd be specific with their feedback in terms of, you know, what behaviors are negative and what the outcome was for the negative behavior. But now it's like, if you're having a bad day, don't be a jerk in chat. Or like, when you're a new viewer, you should not talk about your stream. You should not post links. You should read the rules. Like, these are all things that we don't need to talk about.
No.
At all. Like, it doesn't.
And it makes people feel good because maybe it's coming from a good place for some of them because they feel like they're helping. But I feel like a lot of them, it's not.
Well, what you see in the comments is kind of like indicative of that, because it's just a bunch of other people who are like metaphorically sucking their own dicks and be like, yeah, I do that in my chat.
And anybody else that doesn't is bad streamer. They're never going to be partner.
Right. Or like, I don't know how partners like talk about this stuff all the time and like nothing's being done about it, and then they just like at Twitch. It's like nobody's listening to you, dude.
No.
You're just trying to hype everyone up. Again, like what we're seeing now is like the echoes of a very articulated thing that somebody said that was like that was valid. And now it's just like, well, that worked for that guy. I should not say the same exact thing because if I do, then it'll be bad. So I'm just gonna It's been
echoing for way too long. And I feel like there's enough people where we can start to combat it now.
I hope so. It's not even like combat it. It's just like, let's put a fucking hand up. I'm gonna put my hand on your chest and be like, stop.
Stop it. Get some help.
Get some help. Exactly.
Memes. Always put a meme in there and people will listen. People like memes.
Dude, people like memes.
I'm so sorry.
No, go ahead.
I saw a question from Avon that I actually was hoping that somebody would ask because it's something that I read about.
Yeah.
He said, could you talk about the do's and don'ts when talking and interacting with somebody with a stutter/speech issue? I didn't know how, and I just had to learn over time. That's an excellent question. So a big thing, and a lot of people that don't deal with speech impediments, it's nobody's fault, but they want to jump in and complete sentences for people that can't get it out, and that's a big no. If you're having and it's because if you're having a conversation with another person and they're being disfluent, it's an interruption, it's a bump, and people just aren't accustomed to it. And a lot of people finish each other's sentences all the time, and it's not a big deal. But what happens when you do things like, and there's obviously certain circumstances, like if you're really close and it's just like a really obvious, there's exceptions. But for the main part, don't finish a person's sentences that's trying to get it out, because what you're doing is you're calling attention to the fact that they're stuttering right then, which they're already freaking out about internally.
Right.
So that's a big one. Don't do that. Also, don't finish each other's sandwiches without permission. That too.
Yes.
And then try to maintain eye contact, even if the other person who is stuttering isn't. Try to keep it if you absolutely can. Don't say things like slow down or wait a minute, collect your thoughts, like think about what you're gonna say before you say it. Because not only are those like fucking degrading, because we're already thinking about it more than you'll ever fucking know.
Right. It's so weird how like the default mechanism for people that have a stutter, like it could be like, what are you trying to say? You know, like I'm fucking getting to it, all right? You're fucking it up for me. But it's just like we want to help. It's like, what do you it's not fucking charades, boys. Just like hang out, relax.
Yeah, like just if you have a person in your life and they stutter or have any kind of speech impediment, just try and be a little patient. Sometimes they're gonna have really good speech days, and you're gonna be like, "What? I had no idea," which I hear all the time.
Yeah. Well, we don't have like a how to talk to people with a stutter class. You know what I mean? So it's like
this is exactly why I've been thinking about talking about it, because I think we should. Because it's not anybody's fault. How would they have any idea that they would hurt a person's feelings by seemingly trying to help them? That doesn't make any sense.
No, I agree.
So that's a big one. And
Avondale. Right. Wait, how long did it take you to get acclimated? Was this something that you like learned immediately, or was this like over the course of the relationship?
Oh my god, thank you for asking that. I was like, I really want to ask him that too.
Because he said he was learning it, you know, so.
Yeah. I was going to ask him after stream.
Josh, thank you for finding that link and providing it in chat, because that's really great. Jaland, hi.
Hi.
Mr. 300 himself. Good to see you. I had experience with speech issues prior, but never to this extent. Oh, gotcha.
Oh, yep.
Okay. So this was your primarily like learning curve, I guess. Interesting. Okay.
I was a pretty good learning curve. I don't know what that means.
Like he was introduced to something new and it was like, whoa, I don't know what this is. Like, how do I handle this thing?
Yes. There is my stream fucked up, but there's another person in our friend circle, and she also stutters.
Oh.
So he had experience with her. It took me a while to learn. I used to finish her words because sometimes I do that. People, yeah. Learn that was a huge no-no. Yeah, see.
Gotcha. Huge no-no. Gotcha.
But there's been times where, like, because Avon, that's my man. Like, he understands what I'm going to say before I say it. So there's occasionally times where it's not even that he finishes my sentence. He just, like, says a thing. I don't know.
It's like more like a cute thing.
Yeah, I've never had a partner that's as accepting and cute about it and patient. So patient.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
He's really good. I love him. Gross.
I grew up around a family that came straight from Vietnam and didn't know English, so I had to take time to sit there and figure out what they were talking about. So I've learned to get the gist. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Rochi, it's so good to see you. I'm sorry, I've been bad about paying attention to chat. I've never done something like this before. So it's hard to pick what there's a big Konky, and then there's another Konky, and then there's chat.
Yeah, that's okay. You're doing great, Kate.
Doing all right? Okay. Oh,
give me exclamation point in Kate in the chat.
That's me. That's me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Avondale.
Thank you, thank you, Shaylin. So many.
It's on cooldown, Chalet. Calm down, right? No, I'm just kidding. Awesome. Do you think there's anything else that like people should know about just us stuttering or whatever it is, like related to your experience? What do you think was like the most impactful thing? I mean, you're still obviously learning and growing. You're embracing this whole thing, but out of all of the experience you've had, what are like the key things that you've taken away so far in this like journey of discovering yourself and understanding your speech impediment?
the key things I've learned from how people respond to me. Is that?
No, like you yourself. Like what are the things that you've understood, like learned about yourself, the situations, whatever it is, that's stuck with you, like so far. You know what I mean? What are the things when you look back about the journey of Katebit going through all this stuff? What were the things that you like pulled from it that were really like impactful for you?
I think, and I swear to God, I'm not trying to sound cheesy.
No, don't worry about it.
But I think one of the biggest ones is it's hard to say because I don't 100% believe it, but that's anxiety. That's a whole other fucking thing. But I know that I am braver than how I feel and how I act. I know I am. I know that she's in there.
Yeah. Well, she comes out sometimes, right?
Yeah.
She's doing the Exp Talk Show and talk about, you know, not pooping for a few days.
Yeah, I opened with that.
It's good opener. God damn. Butthole joke for everybody.
Opener.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Welcome. Kate just needs slap. I love you. Shut up, bro.
I like cheese. Misty
I like
Red.
cheese.
How neat is that?
Oh man. Well, it's so weird because like for me, growing up, we talked about this for a little bit, but like I was bullied a bit growing up, and then found out I was like kind of attractive, and then
kind of.
I was a serial dater because like that was when I wasn't getting bullied, was when I had a girlfriend.
Oh, because it was cool.
Right. And so yeah, for me it was like a combination of not knowing that I had ADHD nor believing that it was even a possibility, and then distancing myself even further. So like the journey for Twitch and like this thing, therapy, all the stuff you've been through has been you getting closer and closer to this like more understood person for yourself. Like you're understanding yourself more.
Oh yeah.
And with that comes confidence, and that confidence really does help with pretty much everything that you'd be doing in life. So that's super awesome that you've like, I don't know, persevered through this and are at this point now where you're sort of like bubbling up, you know? You're like, you feel like you're making progress, and you're becoming stronger as a person, and more than just the like stream sense, right?
I'm stronger than yesterday. Now
she
it's
put the
nothing
drums in.
but my loneliness killing me no more. Sorry, I just like that song.
'Cause I'm stronger. I don't know why. Gross, James, that's my brother.
She became woke. I don't know if you. I guess.
But I don't know, dude. All this shit is really great to hear. I think like the biggest takeaway that I've learned from you telling me all of this is just like it takes a lot of hard work, and even though you've done a lot, it doesn't mean you're done. It feels like you're gonna be doing this for however long you need.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing.
No, it's all part of the journey.
It sounds so lame.
I know, but it's true.
But it's true. It is true. Yeah.
That's why it's called
the journey.
It's all part of the journey of life.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Dude, I want to be the Jenna Marbles of Twitch so bad, but she's already on Twitch, so I
swear to
can't
God,
do that.
I thought you were gonna straight go into like the Pokemon fucking theme song for a second, and I don't know why, but
I want to be the very best.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna be like, I want to be the very best.
I should have done that. That's so funny. And just like done,
just
like,
talk it out. Just talk. That no one ever was. All right. And to catch them is my real test. To train them is my cause. Pokemon. Meggles is here. Hi.
Meggles is Spectre.
God, Meggles,
Oh my
Spectre
God.
Speed. Y'all are sweet. Garrus.
Could you hear that?
Yeah.
He's being such a shit.
Christina, Lolznina, she's got a cat named Garrus, and he doesn't
hold
meow.
on.
He just goes.
Hold on.
Kind of like how Oliver does sometimes. I think this will be a good transition into like the question and answer portion too. Talk about it, wishes. Oh, look at him. Oh,
Wait,
he's so cute.
I can't hear what you're saying because I don't have headphones on.
Okay.
But he doesn't like to say hello because it's right up here.
Yeah.
This is Gareth.
Hi, Gareth.
And he doesn't know how to meow. He just goes, ah!
That's probably like my favorite thing. Gareth, what a cute kitty.
He's so good.
But I think this is a good person. This is a good person to get into our questions and answers.
A good person for the questions.
So for everybody just coming in, Katebit just shared a whole lot about her personal experience with growing up with a stutter and how she's like working through it and how she's sort of embracing it and as part of her stream life. She talked a bit about how she streamed and all that stuff. Does anybody have any questions for her, for me? And while we're waiting, do you have any questions for me? Do you have anything?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh,
I feel like
man.
I've been asking you about this stuff, but
I've got questions that I want to ask you for days.
okay.
I don't know if that I like just.
I'm ready.
I listened to the book written by the samurai.
Oh, the Five Rings
Yeah.
by Musashi Miyamoto.
I need to listen to that again because I didn't fully get it the first time.
It's hard to get it. I'm not gonna lie. I
and
read the book.
He's fucking talking to me
Oh,
like I am but
hold on.
yeah. Oh.
There we go. He was talking to you like what? Sorry, you skipped out a little bit.
He's talking to me like I am a samurai.
Yeah. So that whole book was written for like samurai, but like the lessons in there are translatable to like literally everything else.
Yes.
So it's hard to. I definitely read the book like, I think because the book's like what 150 pages or less. I had to read it like 3 or 4 times because I was really just like I didn't really understand what he was talking about because it's all in relation to being a samurai, having a weapon, like all this other stuff. But underneath that stuff, the Five Rings by Musashi Miyamoto, Duncan. Oh, you typed it in.
Yeah.
But it just it translates into like life principles that you should be looking to do.
I tried to connect them and I was like, what? I don't know how to connect the things he taught. I want to, but I didn't get it yet. So I'm probably gonna listen a couple more times.
Yeah.
Because I know it's there.
It's there. It's weird. It's a book written in fucking like literally they just like translated a book that a dude wrote in like the 1800s or something. Or
On
dude in Japan.
on top of a mountain. He wrote that shit on top of a mountain. That was one of my favorite parts.
Yeah.
He's just up there cold as shit.
Yeah, it's just cold as shit, just like
You will learn this.
yeah, you will learn this as part of his training. Oh, we got some questions. I just got done bowling, so sorry if you guys already covered something like this, but what is some things in your life that help motivate you to get out of bed and do what you guys do? Sorry if it's a repeat if you already covered this. I'll let you answer first if you want.
To help motivate me to get. So one of my biggest things is I'm very much looking forward to the future that Avon and I are building. So like the goal is to move in and all the good stuff, get married.
Oh!
So I want to make stream as successful as I can, working up to that before it happens. So I want it. I'm passionate because I want it to help with overall life stuff.
Yeah. And you have fun doing it.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, that too.
No, I was trying to say like if I was having a bad day, because he said like how do you get out of bed?
Oh, gotcha.
So obviously I have so much fun because I can be Katebit, and Katebit's crazy. Katebit's crazy, so it's super fun. But during hard days, I just think about my Dustin and what he would say, and I get up. So having some, if you're fortunate enough to have people around you that believe in you,
Yeah.
use them. And I think about my mom and dad.
They're so supportive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's
Really.
so great. Like, my parents are like, huh, what?
What is this?
Yeah. It's like not a big deal because they're like, I don't fucking know what that is. You want some
How
food? You know, like.
How we gonna do that when you in Conky's room? Avon, don't get mad at me. Conky wasn't so damn good looking wonderful, I'd be mad.
See, I just got done bowling. I guess, like, to answer your question, Shaland, it's the days that are really tough. Like, I have to just kind of like, somebody said this. Mike, you said this. You just kind of got to steer into them. There's this mantra that I've adopted that's really hard to keep in mind on the really tough emotional days, but it's just control what you can control. What are the things that I can control today? In this very moment, what are the things that I can control? Okay, cool. Let's take away that. What happens? Well, I kind of just have to do this. There's not really a situation where I don't have to do this. Like, I'm at work. I have to do this. Like, it's just part of my fucking day. There's not an option here. I just have to do it. And then I'm like, okay, well, I can control how fast I do it and how often I'm doing it. But let's just do that. If somebody comes at me negatively or I answer the phone, somebody's upset, like, how I respond to that is, well, I can control my own emotions. So what do we do here? You know, like, it's a lot of really weird things in navigation. It's hard, and if I can't, like, if I feel like I'm not emotionally ready to stream, like, I'm not going to. You know what I mean? It's just, I have to hold myself accountable outside of stream so that I can stream.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense?
Yeah, and not enough people talk about that. Like, there's such, like, this mindset of you gotta keep on the grind, and I feel like an audience doesn't want to watch the grind. Like, that's not fun.
Nobody wants to watch the grind, bro.
People tune in for a fucking show.
Yeah.
And if your mind, you're not in a good place, like, just it's the internet and it's live.
Yeah. Nobody wants to be around you in real life if you're all, like, fucking being all negative and upset and, like, personifying that. And you can do that. You can be vulnerable, but
for sure.
But being aggressive about, like, your feelings doesn't really go over well with people who are looking to find a person to talk with or connect with.
Yeah.
But I get it. Like, some people are just, like, swept up in the whole. It took me a bit to feel like, you know, quality over quantity was, like, a hard thing for me. And also knowing when I was burning myself out. Like, that was all of my last year was trying to figure out what my stamina meter was, and I tried so many different ways than addressing the issue that very simply. And I'm glad that I'm still figuring it out. Of course, there's some nights where it's pretty tough, but
it
just gotta
seems
work
like
at it.
It's way. Oh, and I also, what you gotta tell me, what is the instrument that you play at the beginning of your stream sometimes?
Oh, it's an iPad.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's an iPad with an iPad. I have, like, an audio input on it, and it has a digital looper mixer library thing on it.
How do you get the mixer?
It's an app.
Oh my god, can you message me that, because I love it and I want to learn?
Yeah, I can do that.
Cool.
How we can do that when you? Oh, I get it. Okay, I missed that.
Top 10 anime betrayals. What if you're upset because you died in the game? Oh, well, people love to see you suffer.
Yeah, they do. It depends on how salty you get. There's, like, a line. The line for anger is, like, I'm thinking about it and it hurts me. Like, right? It's just, like, shrieking, throwing, tantrum. Like, that's not.
It's not funny if you're acting like a fucking baby about it. Like, we're just gamers, bro.
Yeah, we're just gamers. We gotta rise up.
And I get really fucking salty, but I don't think I've ever. I think the worst thing I've done is I turned around really fast and I bopped, and there's a clip of this. I bopped my leg on my desk so hard because I died, and I just like sat there like Peter from fucking Family Guy, like, oh my knee, oh my knee. I was just it hurt so bad, and I was trying not to cry. But that's probably the worst I've done on stream. I was really mad.
Yeah.
I forget what game that was, but I haven't played it since.
Dude, like the only games that I've been able to play online that don't allow me to get salty, like on stream, is like Dark Souls. Like that one is fine because I don't really like, they're not real people. But for whatever reason, if it's a first-person shooter with like CS:GO or Overwatch, and that part of my brain kicks on that's like, he's hurting my reputation. Like it turns up, and dude, I used to stream Overwatch and first person shooter games quite a bit, but I'm a completely different person when I play them. Like, really? Yeah, I really steer into that negative aspect of my brain, because one of the things that I found was a strength of mine is anger, and aggressiveness is a strength of mine, and it runs in my family, okay? And I can, like, tapping into that is fine. Like, I can really use that as like a tool, in some cases, like working out, for example, or handling, like, I guess failure is probably the best way to do it, like handling a failure aggressively and trying even harder the next time.
Oh yeah, because you're pissed off.
Right. And the pissed offness is more about like, okay, well, I fucked up for sure, but I could do this better. You know, like that sort of thing.
I'm not gonna fuck up again.
Yeah, but in Overwatch, it's like, get fucking ice picked in the face, bitch. And I don't say that. I don't say that shit.
See, I get really salty in multiplayer games as well, and I think there's something cathartic to that. I really do, because like, I'm a sweet kid. I'm a sweet girl, but I get on League and I'm like, fucking die, you cunt! Like, yes. and I just mean it, and the satisfaction of getting it and then feeling disrespected in like a play in Overwatch. Yeah. But then I get it out and I'm like, okay, I feel better.
Yeah, I think like I can stay in that cave for too long, and then I get like all huffy and puffy, and that's when I'm like, we gotta stop playing this game.
I hate everybody right now.
Yeah, because I played CS:GO for the first time in a long time with Gina and then Obi, who never played CS:GO with me, and both of them were very surprised as to how I was handling shit, because I would like headshot somebody, I'm like, get fucking nerfed, dude. Like, they get
shit on, kid.
Yeah, get fucking shit on is like one of the best all-time sentences I've ever adopted from Jesus.
And
we're all shit on, kid, dude. Such a good sentence.
We're all saying it now.
It's such a good. It's a like
good.
Yeah, that sentence, you can tell he spent years constructing it.
I think the frustration is just part of the journey to getting good. I love it, but only if you stick with it. Learning how to channel the anger is good. And Slap, no, I don't want to talk about Slap. Slap he won't stop talking about shitting in people's mouths, and it's gross. Slap is nasty.
Why? You go into detail? Is it like, I'm gonna eat some really spicy food and I'm gonna come find your mouth and fucking shoot in it? My butt. I'm gonna shoot you with my butt, is what you should say.
Oh my god, no! We were playing League of Legends.
To be fair, Slav is so tall, he could just shit on somebody without really trying.
It's true. Dude, I want to see pictures of you on his back as a backpack.
Did you see that backpack he posted on Twitter? With the ledge on the back? Oh my god, that's so fucking hilarious. I can't believe he found it, first of all. He's like, I wonder if they have this. And he's like, yep.
Yeah, no, I couldn't handle it. So I kept reacting, which made them continue, and then it's a cycle. I don't know.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time that League taught, yeah.
I believe that, yeah. Oh, does anybody have any other questions for Kate or me?
And it could be about anything.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be about like anything we specifically. I'm trying to think of other questions I have for you. How was it meeting Aaron and his girlfriend, Mortimer?
And Ross too.
You got to meet Ross?
Yeah, dude. I did. It was amazing. I'm really glad I got to meet Aaron 2 times because the first time I was really nervous. I was really nervous. Nano Goblin, hello. Because for anybody that doesn't know, the Game Grumps on YouTube are like my big dick energy inspiration. I look up to them and their work, and I have for a long time, and I try to model some of like the entertainment and comedic things that I do. I model a lot of it off of their improvisational style.
Yeah.
And they've inspired me for so long. So then when we went to TwitchCon last year and found out that I was going to be able to meet them, I've never met a hero.
Oh, like yeah. This was like your first idol or person that you like really inspired you.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, waiting in, like, I'm also very grateful that Avon and I got to stand in the line for just a little, like, it wasn't a long line. Everybody was complaining, but I was glad we stood there because I got the tears out twice because I cried. I saw him and he was a real person. I never could have thought that I would be standing.
Yeah, he's almost like not real until you're in front of him.
Exactly. And then seeing her, and
because I grew like growing up with them is like,
yeah,
that's a weird concept. Like that's I remember seeing the Awesome series on like Newgrounds and stuff. And
oh my god, the Awesome series is so good.
Yeah, like that was like one of the first
Pikachu!
viral videos. Yeah. The viral videos they did, like those were original viral videos to me. Like and
yeah, same.
That's how I found like Oniji cartoons, like all of that stuff. It's kind of nuts.
Oh, we're getting a raid right now by Janly the Dane.
Janly, it's his birthday.
Happy birthday, Janly!
Everybody, can we get happy birthday in the chat for Janly? Welcome in, everybody.
We're getting a daily dose of milk. What the fuck?
Please drink your daily dose of milk. Crying. Janly, how was your birthday stream, bud?
Happy birthday! Thank you for the birthday raid.
Thank you, guys. Please wish this man a happy birthday. It was yesterday, from what I remember, but he was doing like a birthday stream. Wait, no, was it yesterday? Janly, were you lying about your birthday being yesterday, or did you mean it was today?
We're here to remind you to drink your daily dose of milk.
No, it's today. Okay, good. Feels birthday man's in the chat, birthday. Please.
Happy birthday!
Welcome in, everybody. Oh, he got too drunk.
Oh shit.
Oh god.
That's when you end stream. Because when you hit
party time.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Dude, what were you streaming? Oh, this is Katebit. Oh wait, this is Katebit. Hanging out with me today. She's talking about life experience and having good conversations. Welcome in, everybody.
Welcome in.
Thanks for sharing your people with me. Appreciate it with us. This is the I'm KonkyTalks64. I'm the like host, I guess. We're doing the XP Talk Show right now. Normally we do this show once a week, but I've been inspired to reach out to a few people and schedule times for special guests. We did Another Dead Hero on Monday, Katebit today, and then we've got Etwert next week.
Etwert's next week?
Yeah, boy.
Oh fuck yeah, dude. You and Etwert are like my top 2 streamers in the world other than Gothic's Model, and dude, I can't wait to see that.
That's so weird for me to like hear from you, to be honest. It's just, I don't know.
I still look back to when we met the first day at TwitchCon and I cringe at myself because I fangirled at you immediately.
Yeah, but I was just like, I don't know how to take this stuff. Like, this is a normal thing for me. Like,
it's It's not. It shouldn't be normal.
Not the fangirl stuff. I mean, like, this is the normal thing for me is like, you are a person and I consider you my friend. And then it was like, we're in front of each other. You know what I mean? Like, the physical space. Like, you're a real person that's not like in a box. You have legs and shoes on. You know, like, I don't know. It's just, it's really, it was kind of surreal. It's like seeing everybody. I mean, I fucking cried. Did you see that?
I mean, I cried. I don't know if I saw you cry. I don't know.
I met Rocco for the first time, and I like started bawling my eyes out. Cause like, dude, I was just sitting. We were all like, we had met up all at TwitchCon. And I'm looking at everybody, and I'm like, dude, I met all of these cool people, and like, we're already friends.
It was so.
And like, this connection I've made over the internet is like a real thing. And then Rocco comes up and I'm like welling up. And then Rocco comes up and she says, "Hi, Konky." Oh my God. And I just started like, ah! Like, it was just like, how? Like, I'm like, remembering it is just one of my most favorite things. Like, it was just one of those things where I was so overwhelmed with love and emotion, and streaming, kind of touching base on what you did, streaming helped me tap into more of like my emotional side, because like that is something that's been cut off for a long time, and it wasn't until the past like 3-4 years where I started to like really open up and let myself talk about the things that like affect me. All of you people were a part of that. Like, I'm the person I am, I'm who I am, greatly affected by the people. Thank you. I know like you feel like you may have not done a lot, but it's like, I've said this before, but watching you stream and interact, like, it's just like the same conversation that would have been happening. The only thing that sucks is like we're not directly talking, right? And so when I say these things on the keyboard, like, it's really how I feel about it. Watching you is inspiring. It reminds me of myself in a weird way. Like, you guys are all me living a different life, and being able to see you guys be authentic, see you guys be vulnerable, is like allowing me to be that as well. And it makes me, it's a circle of just like greatness that I can't describe.
The circle of life.
Exactly.
With the Twitch and Konky. So I forgot a thing that I wanted to talk about too.
Yeah. What did you want to talk about?
One of my favorite things that a lot of people aren't aware of is celebrities that stutter, and there's some really good ones, like James Earl Jones,
Darth Vader,
fucking Mufasa,
yeah,
like one of the most iconic voices ever, and he stuttered severely.
He got around it by like singing.
Yeah, that's another thing, because of how it works when, like, I don't sing. That's kind of why I like to sing sometimes when I talk. Also to channel my inner Disney princess, because that's fun.
Yeah, but it's a different part of your brain that turns on, and then the stutter's gone.
So you don't stutter when you sing or rap.
Make a voice. Or rap. Dude, you should do like a Gangsta K-Fit stream one of these days.
Dude, I practice rap all the time to practice my speech. I'm trying to get.
Okay, so let me ask you this: do you have like an oversized hoodie, and do you like walk into the basement? It's all like fucking concrete and shit, and you just got like a fucking rap beat going, and you're just like.
It's just me and either Eminem or fucking Alphabet Aerobics, just going back and forth. Like, I could do this
back and forth,
and then I try it, and then I stop.
Booty science. Let me research your ass.
Yeah. Oh my God. See,
I have that written down.
He was sending me lines, like he was spitting fire in my chat and giving me the opportunity to spit it out loud, and I think I did it appropriately.
You did, yes. It was awesome.
It felt good.
It was awesome. I was like, oh my God, she's doing it exactly like I would.
Because I secretly want to be a really good rapper.
It's great. Dude, me too. I know it sounds weird. But like, it's just, there's just something about rap that makes you feel super badass. And especially if it's just like free flow. Like,
yeah, bro.
Man, me and my buddy Al, so there was a short period of time when I like a decade ago when I was started college, where I had lost my driver's license, and I was staying over at my buddy Al's house for a couple months. And because he went to the same school as me, so it was like, okay, we'll just carpool together. And every day we would drive up, we would have just like a rap beat going, and then we'd sing Bohemian Rhapsody and like a bunch of other songs together.
Yep.
Kind of like Wayne's World. That was, I think, what we were trying to do.
I love it.
And then we just spent, I think it was like just 2 months of freestyle rapping over beats on the way. And we'd just be walking into class like, yo, dog, pick up your socks. I don't want to give you this box, dude. Why you being so rude? Like, we would just like do stupid shit like that. And it was a lot better, I promise. It was so,
I'm jealous of that because personally, unless I haven't tapped into that part of myself yet, I can't. It's harder with a stutter to freestyle because if you're rapping a song that's already out there, the words are already out there. True. But if you're thinking about what you're gonna say as you're saying it,
ooh, I mean, Edward's here.
Maybe that, or it's an excuse why I'm not good at freestyling. Maybe I'm only using that as a crutch, and maybe I'm actually sick as fuck at freestyling.
Yeah, you could be sick as fuck, dude.
Edward's here. Oh my god, Edward! I heard that you're gonna be here next week. Oh my god, Sampo! Hi, Sampo.
Dude, I'm excited to talk to Edward. It's just gonna be a very different vibe. Like, my favorite thing about doing this show, and like, I know when we first had I do initial conversations with people. I don't just like throw them into the fire or whatever, because like Kate was really nervous about coming on here and talking. It was pretty much apparent that it wasn't an interview. It was just a conversation that we were having. And then it was just like, okay, well now we can like just kind of relax a little. And that's the kind of vibe that I want on here, is like a conversation with a person that is willing to have one with me, regardless of what it is. And we highlighted some key topics that we discovered she would like to talk about, because it's not something she had the opportunity to talk about before. And then all the conversation just happened by itself. See ya, Fry.
Hi. Hi, Fry.
Oh.
I don't know if we missed any questions.
I didn't see anything. I'm going through right now.
Ammo, oh my gosh. Ammo's here.
Ammo, yo, dude. Does anybody have any, well, I guess, do you have any questions for me? Like anything else? If not, I know you said you had a million questions. Wait, what?
I do, but I mean, then it would just be like for hours.
For hours? What's something you always wanted to ask me but never asked me till now? Like, let's take this opportunity to really think about it. I'll take 2 questions because I don't want the focus to be on just me, obviously.
You'll take okay.
Oh, y'all so cute.
Yeah, Missy, I think that you're cool. Okay, so how are you? That's not the right way to phrase that. I just have a lot of respect for how confident you are and how you interact with other people, and the whole, like, when we're streaming, like, everybody's coming to my party. Yeah. That's super, super helpful. But there's just this air of, like, you've got your shit together and you know what you stand for and what you don't. And I'm assuming it wasn't always like that. And what was the process like for that? Because that's the thing I'm working on.
Yeah. I'll be very honest with you guys. So, I spent a lot of my life, in summation, without getting too far into it, I spent a lot of my life distancing my inner, like, myself from myself. And when I say myself from myself, I mean not understanding me. I spent a lot of my time thinking that my life revolved around the people around me and what they were telling me, and that the world was more or less just like taking me through it, and I didn't have any control over what was going on. So I felt a lack of control. I felt a lack of understanding myself. I didn't know myself. I distracted myself quite a bit because not knowing myself, or getting to know myself was scarier than, you know, dating people. And here's the weird thing. When I was dating people like a lot, it wasn't even like a physical thing. It was like, I'm dating you, and then like we don't talk.
Oh.
So it was like that's how it started, and then the serial dating continued into like, well, I don't really know what I want, but I'm just gonna like keep dating random people and not knowing who I am, which is a problem in relationships. So I was very selfish in how I acted in terms of that aspect of my life and how I interacted with my family. And that's a little mix of, you know, abuse growing up in a household and not knowing how to handle that, and lots of anger and hormones attributed to it. But I spent a lot of time. I finally got what I thought was my place mentally around like 22, 23 was when it started like really coming together for me. What I mean by that is I was working at a job I hated, and I lost, and I really do believe lost 3 years of my life to smoking cannabis every single day and going to work at Best Buy while I was in college. And so college wasn't very unique for me, or kind of special for me, because I didn't have a traditional college experience. I went to a college in a office building, and thank God I went to the place that I did, because there was 4 teachers there, and I kid you not, only 4 teachers that really inspired me to like pursue what I wanted to do. Met some amazing friends there as well because of the shit that I went through in college, like not doing very well in college, because all I knew was I wanted to wanted to make video games, and I couldn't even do that. I couldn't pursue that degree. So I got a generalist like animation degree with the help of those 4 teachers and a lot of friends. And through those relationships, and the final senior year that I went through, I had started to pay attention to my diet and how that was affecting me. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with ADHD, but for me, ADHD was a manic need to either burn the candle at both ends or indulge in behaviors that distracted myself. It didn't allow me to learn things. I didn't enjoy learning things. I didn't have the capacity to learn things very well. It took a lot of repetition in doing something over and over again.
And I also struggle with pretty much everything that you just said. I can't stand I don't believe I have ADHD. I did as a kid, but I have ADD.
They put them together like they're the same.
You just described it perfectly.
Yeah, well, I didn't know anything about it. It's like I was just like you. I was like, I have this thing now, but I don't know anything about it. I think I have ADHD. I don't know. I'm not going to go to therapy. That's not going to help me. My mom said it wouldn't. So, it's weirdly enough, it started with a documentary, and I watched a documentary on how it's called Food Inc., which is like one of the most notorious. Yeah, it's one of the most notorious documentaries, and a lot of people talk about like the animal abuse and like all that other shit. And the thing that stuck out to me was the whole like grass-fed, corn-fed thing, and what corn as an industry is. And I started paying attention to my diet as a result of that. So I changed my diet drastically. I was sick and tired all the time until I started changing my diet. I started sleeping better. So it turns out, you know, if you just take care of the fundamental shit, that takes care of like 90% of the negative behaviors for ADHD, because my negative behaviors were really troublesome.
Yeah, I mean, I will admit that I don't eat properly for sure. So if you're saying that helped as much as like I will eat. What do you eat? What do I eat? What's the thing?
Well, I'll get into it. I'll explain that, I guess, later. Let me finish the
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're totally fine.
I wasn't trying to be
You're good. There's more questions that usually come up from like this story or whatever, but yeah, so I started paying attention to what I was eating. I was sleeping better, and I went from Best Buy to a job that I really liked. I worked at a very a very popular electronics store that taught me about giving feedback to people, talking to people. They really did train me to understand people better. And before that, there's no class for that, just so you guys know. Like, there's no class for that. There's no like explanation. Nobody really takes the time to sit you down and explain like how conversations work really well, or how to get more information from somebody who's like having a trouble day or whatever. So I learned all of that. And then, I went to therapy for a brief period. I found out, or I got diagnosed with ADHD. I learned about why my ADHD exists and what my negative behaviors were, so that I know how to handle stress. And for a lot of people who don't, like, I'll explain briefly what my ADHD is. So Dr. Gabor Mate is an amazing psychologist, and he had attributed his ADHD, and he found out what his ADHD was through psychology and scientific research, and the whole like chemical imbalance of your brain and the prefrontal cortex of your brain. And they do this with depression as well. A lot of medications that are advertised to the public say these things, but there's no real data to back up what they're saying. It's just more so that you're like, oh, I might have a problem, so I'm thinking about it, and I'll ask my doctor about it. So the prefrontal cortex is primarily used for focus, right? And when you're a baby, in the situation that I grew up in, and this is how he explains it. So I'm not an expert. Again, I'm just like repeating something. And I'm sorry I'm not making eye contact. It's easier for me to concentrate when I'm like here. Does that make sense?
100%.
Thank you. But the way he explained it was that if you grow up in a stressful household, in my case, a lot of yelling all the time and stress, as a baby, you can't run or fight. You don't have that option. So what you start to do is tune out. So whenever the default mechanism for stress then becomes when you hear loud noises or whatever it is that stresses you out, you start to tune out. You don't pay attention, or you try to distract yourself with something. Right. And so after figuring that out, I was like, okay, well, that explains why, like, whenever I hear a loud noise, or like Leia, for example, like Leia's really loud and I love her so much, but I didn't understand why when she would get really loud and excited, like I would get upset. There was a default like, oh, like fuck, like thing that happened. I didn't know why that was the case. And so after I understood my behaviors that I didn't like, and then I met my gorilla in the float tank, which I told you about. That really just kind of like stuck it home for me. Like I was very forgiving of myself in comparison to where I was. And that was a lot of, it was just like, it's so weird. You go through your entire life, you don't really think about like how the past affected you so much. And then when you start to understand the ingredients of your own being, you start to forgive it more, because I talked about this a little bit on the show like a while ago, but I saw those same behaviors that I despised in the people that I love. And
really? Yeah,
I saw it in my mom, who went through a very similar thing, just completely different timeline. My uncles, my aunts, cousins, siblings, like once you learn this about yourself, you start to see it in other people, and you're like, well, we're not so different.
Oh wow.
It's not just you. You're not alone in like what you're doing. It's very easy to feel like you are, because when you're going through these things, you start to separate yourself from everybody else because they're pushing you away sometimes. Like in high school and middle school, college.
Yeah.
Like you just get naturally pushed away because you're different, and really you're the same person. Just you're dealing with things on a level that is showcased to everybody. Maybe not so much for the person that can hide it.
Wow.
Sorry.
No, I'm just processing.
Okay. Yeah, if you have any questions, just like feel free to ask. This is just, again, I'm not an expert. This is just shit that I've read and
you're sharing
learning myself.
You're sharing your EXP.
Yes.
The whole point.
Oh, you asked me about my diet. So like I still eat like trash, okay? just not as much as I used to, and it's primarily fats. And like I focus on high nutrient dense fats, like grass-fed butter, avocados, and coconut oil. Those are like my high fats, and then grass-fed beef, particularly because of what I learned in the past.
Sure.
And then vegetables, and then fruits on occasion, but not as much. Mostly like, yeah. And then a pizza every here there.
Hurler. I'm addicted to sugar. Like the first thing I want as soon as I wake up is like muffins.
Yeah. Dude, muffins are dope.
Muffins are dope as fuck.
I'm not gonna. You don't need to feel bad about it. All right. That's like I have gelato in my fridge. Like the thing I always find really fascinating about that is when I first started, dude, I was hardcore about it. I was like, I'm not gonna eat anything. I'm done poisoning my body. Never again. You know, and that
I did something. I think that's part of why a big part of why I haven't fixed this issue is because I'm lazy and don't want to address it.
Mm-hmm.
But also I'm a little scared because in college I got like that. It was close to like an eating disorder. I don't want to call it that.
Yeah.
But I was like ultra focused on calories and like I'm not putting that shit in my body.
Yeah.
Fuck no. And then I have to go to the gym and run forever.
Yeah.
And I wasn't eating. So I've never had a healthy medium. I've had like both extremes and then just kind of flopping around.
Like a magic carb.
Yeah. I feel like I'm at the magic carb stage right now. And I need
Trying to be that Gyarados. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
We all just want to be a Gyarados, guys. No, it's hard. It really is. I did start off like really Nazi-ish is the word I would use. I'd be like, I'm not eating this trash. But there's a delicate balance to it. Like I do keep track of like what I eat to a certain extent. Like I keep track of everything that like if I know I've eaten something bad, quote unquote, it's usually like 1 or 2 times during. I try to keep the ratio 80% good, 20% bad if I have to. Or if I can't, like one of the things that I started doing when I lost my job in the summer before I got this new job was intermittent fasting really hardcore. So for 16 hours, I do not eat. So starting from 6 p.m. till 11 or 12 o'clock the next day, because I skip breakfast, I will not eat. And it sounds hard. It does. But when your options are to not buy things like out of necessity, it just ends up working. And I've been doing that ever since I did that in the summer. Like I don't need to eat for a period of time. And there's a lot of really good stuff with that I learned, like fasting increases your immune system in the sense that like it lets your body completely process whatever's in there. And then inflammation goes down quite a bit as well. So like if you've got arthritis or achy joints or in our cases too, like a foggy headed brain, like that helps a lot too. And that's actually what the fat is for. So like the butter and coconut oil, like that, I didn't know this at the time, but it made sense. Like your brain is made out of fat, so your brain uses that as fuel essentially to process this stuff. And Anchovy Bob, if you're in here,
I believe he is. He said
something about magnesium, right?
He said omega-3 fish helps a lot with magnesium.
Hello, Isaac.
Hello.
Yeah, your brain's made out of fat, so like you give yourself quality fat for your brain to work off of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I had been like supplementing without medicating myself.
Yeah, I asked you a big question, so that can count as.
That's the whole question. It's 2.
That's 2.
Does anybody else have any questions for Kate or myself? Kate, tell the folks where they can find you. What's your schedule this week?
I'm gonna be on Twitch tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. EST.
Yeah.
And then the week after that is gonna be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 4:30 p.m. EST. I update my schedule weekly because I currently spend weekends out of town or Avon comes here. So that's just how it is. And I update it on my Twitch page and on my Twitter. But it's usually at 4:30 p.m. EST.
Hell yeah. Hey, do you have anything else that you wanted to say before we end it?
Kate has a TikTok. Search for Katebit Twitch. I do have a TikTok.
Follow her on her channel. All the things. Follow this wonderful human being. And this won't be the last time we do this, too. We'll figure out.
Really? I'm invited back?
Hell yeah. Anytime you come on the show, if I want to invite you back, you could be back whenever. I just gotta figure out what time frames look like.
You can come back if I feel like inviting you back anytime.
Anytime. That's what I said. I've been really motivated to do more talk shows than I have been. Because I don't
really good at it, dude.
I just don't like. I mean, it's not that I don't like playing games and hanging out. It's way more engaging for me to talk with another about love getting to know.
And you're so easy to talk to and so open and understanding, especially there was an example earlier when there was an asshole in chat. There's so many ways you could have approached that, and you were just you don't gotta be like that, man.
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna. I feel like, I mean, if I was gonna give anybody advice going forward, if you feel like you are having problems with people in chat, you most definitely can ban them and get rid of that stuff. But it's not my approach. It's not my style. It's you know how I related to the party thing. It's like somebody coming in and just being like, "Yo, fuck you, dude." I'm like, "What the fuck? I don't even know you."
Who are you?
Yeah, who are you? What's wrong? Yeah, my first question is what happened? What's wrong?
What? That's true.
Do you know me? If not, I mean, what's going on, bro?
You're ugly. What?
Okay.
What? Okay. Have a good day. Have a wonderful time.
Why did you come to my party and spill the mac and cheese?
You asshole, that was my Kraft's mac and cheese. It's hard to think of a closing point because you want it to be meaningful.
Well, we're gonna see each other again, right?
Yeah.
If guys.
I'm invited back whenever he feels like it, anytime.
Yes. Anytime I feel like it. I did say that. I didn't really think about it.
No, but I totally get it. Anytime it works out with scheduling, blah blah.
Yeah.
It sounded hilarious. Hi, Taco.
Yo. Well, we did this last special guest with another dead hero. Do you have somebody that you'd like to raid?
Oh, that's good. That's good. Ooh,
it's okay, Taco. I'm definitely highlighting this. This was a great conversation.
You're gonna highlight this?
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I got my YouTube set up. It's always weird having this in place because this format really only works on Twitch. We respond to comments and stuff like that.
Right.
So it's tough you don't
Oh my god, so many wonderful options. A lot of people are streaming right now.
Dude, 4 months.
Oh, yay, 4 months. Ooh, okay. So this is a thing. Let me make sure he's still going.
Yeah, Pop.
Yeah, he is. Okay, so do y'all know about? He used to be a YouTuber, but he's a streamer now. He goes by, how do you spell it? Cryotic? Have you ever heard that before?
No.
So during the same time, I'll put the link in chat. During the same time that I was like growing up and being really inspired by the game Grumps and like Markiplier, Cryotic was one of those people. He does have a sweet voice. He never used camera.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, but the way he spoke, like he always articulated his words really well, and I was like, that's really really nice, and he's funny as fuck.
Okay.
So he's streaming right now. I think he's moved over to Twitch because I think we're a little bit better right now. Sometimes.
Okay. Yeah, let's go.
Playing some Devil May Cry 5, which I wasn't really interested in, but now that I've seen some people play it, it looks fucking really cool.
It does look real. Leos Van, yo, Leos Van Hoon, welcome in, dude. Yeah, you got a sub. Must have got gifted a sub. I don't know who did that, but thank you.
It's good. Hi, Polo.
The hammer, yo, dude.
Oh, and I also want to take a second to thank everybody that came out. I know Konky has said thank you over and over again, but I was really, really, really excited, but also really scared to come on here. So I wasn't afraid to tell people that I was scared.
Well, thank you for telling me, because like that was honestly like. I mean, when you were asking me about the confidence piece, a lot of this comes from just not knowing. Like, just be confident in not knowing. That's it. Like, just be like, I don't know.
I don't know, but we're doing it.
We're doing it, yeah. And it ends up working out. Like, I don't know.
And I can't believe, like, so many people came out, and it's very humbling, and I won't forget it. I really, really will. And also, was this helpful to anybody?
I think it was helpful for not only like people who may have gone through similar experiences, but me as somebody who does not stutter, to help me understand what somebody who has gone through that their entire life has to say. And I think that's super important. Yeah,
I really wanted it to help in some way, shape, or form. Hello. But that was basically it. Just a big thank you, and thank you to Konky for the opportunity. Again, I don't take it lightly. Apparently, your mic sensitivity is cutting out.
Oh, okay. It might be the profile that I have set up on here. My bad, guys.
The Hunger James says he learned a lot. Oh, thanks. I'm so glad.
There we go. No. That did not make it better.
I wasn't sure because it sounds perfect here, but that's...
Yeah. I'll turn this off for now.
You really have a knack for public speaking? What? You think I have a knack for public speaking, Joe Bash? I can listen to you for hours? What?
Hell yeah.
Dude, that means a lot. That means a lot. Considering what listening to me entails. that means a lot. I agree. I listen to her for hours like every day.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. You're welcome. Hey, honestly, like it was an easy decision. It was one of those things where I had a few people in mind that I knew I wanted to talk to. I'm gonna start with people that like I actually had a conversation, got to know at TwitchCon. So that was, I mean, that was honestly like one of the big things. Like, who did I meet? Well, obviously everybody that I met at TwitchCon is easy to talk to. Like, I spent my entire weekend hanging out with them and talking with them.
I was totally considering wearing my shirt at TwitchCon, Konky gave Avon and I his t-shirts with the fucking badass gorilla.
Oh yeah, my gorilla.
Gave us 2 shirts, and I was gonna wear that, but then it's green, so I was afraid it would look weird, and I was trying to look kind of.
Oh, like, no worries, no worries at all.
But I had it on. I was like, he's gonna be so excited. And then I thought about the green.
It's exciting for me that you guys even like, where when I gave him to you, you're like, what?
It's such a good shirt.
It's. So I agree.
It's good.
I'm glad you guys liked it. Yeah. If you guys want to check out the show, we'll be up tomorrow for Science Fueled Exp Talk. Next week we got Atwert, and as always, feel free to come in here, share whatever information